everyone.
Hello.
I am Lauren.
I am Ken.
And this is Paradise After Dark. Missing and Unsolved.
Missing and Unsolved.
Off topic and uncut.
Topic. Okay. So.
Okay.
Crime is bad. Okay.
We've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Crime is bad.
Sort of on topic, and off topic, but you go first with what you want.
Well, I just want to talk about this Travis Decker shitbag. This whole, I've been following it not as close as I should be or want to be, and it's mainly because every time I start to get involved, they trigger warning. They talk about the 3 children and how they were murdered by their own father, someone they trusted, and it just brings back these vibes of this Chris Watts shit. And it's like these kids were 9, 8, and 5.
Yeah,
There's Evelyn, Peyton, and Olivia, and it's so gruesome that what they describe, and it's like I wish they would just stop describing how these children were murdered and talk about this guy and how they're going to find him and what they're going to do when they find him. And I really, and I don't know what your feeling is, but I do not want this to be a Brian Laundrie situation where they find him dead somewhere. I want them to find him alive because he needs to go to prison and rot in fucking hell.
I agree.
And one of the things I found out today too, and it's kind of crazy, but here we are in Naples, Florida, in beautiful paradise. And I found out that his parents live in Naples, Florida. I'm not going to tell you where. I'm not going to tell you how I know. But his parents are actually here in Naples, Florida.
I wonder if the cops are staking out their house.
I bet they are. But I think that if you've been following it at all, they're doing. I mean, they got that place on lockdown, and they're convinced that this guy's pulling some Rambo shit where he's, they keep talking about, oh, he's so survivalist oriented and all these things. It's like, I stop doing that. Stop trying to perpetuate he's so much smarter than the cops and he's going to be out there forever.
You know what's pissing me off is that they keep mentioning that he's a veteran. That's getting on my nerves because not all veterans are psychos that kill their children.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of veterans have a lot of problems, but they normally just kill themselves. 22 a day, to be exact.
Well, me and Lauren discussed a little bit of this on the microphone, and that's just the case. It's fact.
And it really is getting under my skin that they keep bringing up his veteran status. And it's not because he's a veteran that he murdered his children. And
his ex, Whitney, oh my God, I can't even imagine what she's dealing with because she was trying. The reason she left him in the first place was because of the way he was behaving around the children, and she didn't feel good about the situation. She felt like he was sort of a threat to them, and the courts sort of gave him custody. So this was sort of an exchange where he was picking up the kids. It was his turn to take the kids. Where if the signs had been there, they would have done some research or something. It's almost like the court could have done something to prevent this from happening. I don't know enough of the situation. I've researched it, but I don't know enough of what transpired in the courtroom and all that, of course. But I mean, please, if you're in the justice system, whatever, take this, heed this advice, man. If people just, they're not right. And when they get a divorce and you hear one parent talk about it, you do some deep research just to make sure that the children are safe, because that's the biggest concern. And unfortunately, these 3 beautiful girls just weren't safe.
Well, I read today that they are apparently narrowing in. They believe he's somewhere in North Washington toward the Canada border.
Yeah, they said that he might try to go to Canada and find work.
Yeah. But as of today, and before the murders, he researched how to immigrate to Canada. So, but then I just saw a news thing pop up earlier this afternoon that said that they were honing in on him.
Oh.
So let's just hope and pray that they catch this piece of shit.
Yeah, I do not want this guy. I do not want him dead. I want him to go and be in front of a court and face, and I want him to hear and live this every single day of the rest of his life, because that's the kind of thing. And I know that sounds horrible, but that's the justice that I want for these 3 children, these 3 beautiful girls. So I don't know, I keep bringing the mood down. It's just, it's horrific the way that they were suffocated and tied, and I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It just gets me. But I had to mention on the mic because it's like, man, please say a prayer that they find this guy. Please say a prayer for Whitney, the mom. I mean, she basically lost her entire existence. 3 kids, your husband, everything you've worked all your life for is just gone in a day. And the guy that's caused the problem was the problem, and now he's gone and can't be found. So,
well, anyway. In other news, did you hear Bryan Kohberger's prosecution is filing a motion not to push the trial out even further?
I didn't hear this. Well, go back. Where did I miss this?
Okay, so you know how did you watch the Dateline episode
on Bryan Kohberger?
On Bryan Kohberger, yeah, in the Moscow 4. Okay. So somebody leaked all that information to Dateline.
Oh, yeah. We discussed that.
Yeah, we did discuss that. I think on the last...
Did we? Maybe not.
Anyway, so now his defense is saying that because of that, they need to push the trial back. Now, the trial is supposed to start this August. But just today, the prosecution filed a motion to not push the trial back, saying that they've had ample time, and actually pushing the trial back will just make things worse.
Well, I mean, what exactly are they trying to do? What are they trying to find? What information is missing? So you know what I mean? Like, why would they want to push it back?
The prosecution's ready to go.
I understand that, but why would the defense want to push it back?
Well, because somebody leaked all this information, which actually may not even be admissible anymore in court. So, I don't know.
Do you feel like do you feel like they really need it? I mean, this Kohberger guy, I don't understand. Like, they've got him pretty much dead to rights. Don't you think so?
I do.
You know what, though? There's a small subsect of people that think
yes,
he's innocent.
There is.
There's a small subsect of people that think that Richard Allen's innocent.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I had a conversation with somebody that was involved in some law enforcement in Indiana, and they said, no, they don't think he did it. I'm like, oh my God, I want to fucking punch you. If I wasn't afraid to get my ass whooped, I would have punched him. But I'm like, it's crazy to think.
There's this guy on TikTok. Oh my, it's like Birdie Bombs or something like that is what his handle is. But I don't think I've ever actually watched one of his lives or his videos all the way through, because it's just long and drawn out. But he has made some points in the Kohberger case, citing another possible suspect, either that did it instead of Bryan Kohberger or did it along with Bryan Kohberger. So, and I don't know all the details on that off the top of my head. Sorry. You guys gonna have to do your own research on that.
Yeah.
Birdie Bombs, I believe, is on TikTok.
Hey, that's why he's on TikTok. That's why he's not in anything.
Yeah, anything on TikTok, take with a grain of salt.
Well, you know what?
It's like Reddit.
I will tell you this. TikTok Shop is the shit.
TikTok Shop.
Go to TikTok Shop, because I've looked at stuff on Amazon. I'm like, you know what? I look at TikTok Shop, half price. And they do free shipping on all that stuff.
But listen, back to one more thing about Kohberger and TikTok. There's a TikToker. Her handle is London's Notebook. And she does an amazing job catching you up on everything going on with the case.
What was it called? Because I like to get caught up.
London's Notebook.
Okay.
Yes, and she does a great job following that case and catching you up on everything you need to know.
Well, that's always good. Oh, speaking of cases that you want to get caught up on, Sherri Papini, bitch is lying. Still lying. I'm just going to put it out. Go watch if you watch the documentary, and if you're saying yes to yourself, then you understand what I'm saying. That you have said. If you're saying no, just go watch it, because it has to do with her telling her side of the story. And you know what? The problem that I have with the documentary situation that we see is a lot like Making of a Murderer. In the very first Making of a Murderer, you almost feel like, man, this guy's getting railroaded. He's innocent. And then you watch the second one, you're like, this son of a bitch is guilty.
Yeah.
So, but in the Sherri Papini thing, in the very first one, it's like, oh my God, she's so guilty. But then they kind of fool you in the second one, and parts of you are like questioning it. And I don't like it because, like, okay, now and I get it, question everything. You always need to. You question everything that you hear or read or whatever. But it's like when she's telling the story, you can look at her face and see her reaction to the stuff, and you're like, if they really thought that she was lying and there was any validity to what she was saying, that police would investigate further and there would be some other charges brought up. So if you haven't seen that documentary, Lorna and I watched it the other night, and I was literally like, parts of me was like, I almost feel bad for her. And then when I started to feel bad for her, I was tearing my hair out and be mad at myself. It was like, I just felt, it was definitely a twist and turn. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Is it on Netflix or is it?
No, I think it's on Hulu.
Hulu?
No.
Hulu? Paramount.
I don't know.
Just look it up. I don't know.
One of the streaming
There's so many goddamn streaming. You know what the worst part is? We have to have them all to do this stuff and watch stuff and documentaries. I don't think we have to. We choose to, but we still, whatever.
Well, there's a new one coming out. I believe it's on Peacock coming out today about the Long Island serial killer, which I would like to watch.
Yeah, that list stuff is so interesting.
And in the documentary, apparently his wife and his daughter, they're calling him their hero and saying that they're sticking with him. They believe he's innocent. I'm like, oh man.
Well, and I guess when you meet your life partner, that's what you want. You want somebody that's going to stand by you thick and thin. And I get that if your family oriented, but if you're just like somebody that's watching, you can really tell like, hey, there's no way that this is right. So, one other thing I want to bring up is one down, one to go. One down, one to go. In the Cracker Barrel murders, which we discussed a long time ago, case number, it might have been like case number 8 or 9, but episode 8 or 9 that we covered from a long, long time ago back in the archive files. But Brandy Jennings?
Brandy Jennings, yes.
She died in prison.
He did.
The poor guy. I don't feel sorry for you at all.
Yeah. He sat on death row since what, like 95?
Yes, and I hate to feel that way, but that case was so close. Like I said, when the police were investigating it, I drove by there and I was like, man, what's going on? Because I drove by and looked over, I'm like, what? You could not imagine the police presence that was there. Traffic that was backed up that day. That was before they messed up 951 there at that Davis intersection. And I'm just like blown away. And I almost want to pull in there and look, but I've been Cracker Barrel numerous times. So the Cracker Barrel murders, and then Jason Graves is still in prison. He got life.
Yeah, he's not on death row.
He's not on death row, but, and I hate to say, couldn't have a nicer guy, but I mean, in his mind, he was going to stay there until he rotted. And basically that's what happened. They said, you're going to die in prison. And he did. He got what he deserved. And, I guess in some way that's some justice for some people. And in some cases it may not be, but either way, Brandy Jennings has passed away from the Cracker Barrel murders. So he can never harm another person in this existence. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Our friend, Bill Kimberlin, the author that we had him on the show a few years ago.
Is he going to be at CrimeCon with us this year? Because remember, we're going to be at CrimeCon in Denver. If you haven't got your tickets, please do.
Yeah. Use code Paradise for 10% off. But, no, he wrote the book, Watch Me Die. He's the one that goes and interviews, spends time with people on death row, and he's actually attended a few different executions, and he was already set to attend Brandy Jennings' execution. Like, they had become friends, and I don't know if you consider them friends, but he visits them, spends time with them. He's a psychiatrist or psychologist.
Okay.
But yeah, he was buddies with that guy, and he's also buddies with Scott Peterson.
I would say he's buddies. I mean, do you think it's more of a, he goes and talks to him, sort of like the Mindhunter kind of situation?
I think maybe
to some degree. I mean, I don't think he
did write a book about, it's called Watch Me Die, and it's about death row, and it's about what it's like.
So it's somewhat informative. So he's I don't think it's more of a, he's I don't think he was advocating for these people.
No.
So, no, I want to meet him. And you think he's going to be there at CrimeCon or not?
I don't know.
What about the True Crime Podcast Festival? We'll be there in July.
Yeah, use code PAD20 for 20% off your ticket. I don't think so. I don't think
I haven't met him. I never met him, but I'd like to meet him.
I don't think he really travels the crime circuit.
Okay.
But I kind of want to get into the meat of what I really want to talk about.
I know, this is great. And did it feel good to get the podcast sort of up and going again?
Yes. So
did you hear that Annabelle was missing?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we can't talk about dolls on these computers. Never mind.
No, we don't talk about dolls. Anyway, couple weeks ago, they found some human remains in Collier County.
This could be exciting and finally bring justice to someone.
So we just reran the episodes about Terrence Williams and Felipe Santos a few months ago. We just reran those because we were featuring them with the Florida Themis Project. And so if you want to go back and listen to them, please, by all means, do. But they just found, about 2 weeks ago, they found some remains. I believe it was like a femur.
Some rib bones.
And a part of a skull.
And a jaw. With teeth still intact.
With teeth. So they should be able to extract some DNA from that teeth. And they say that they're not sure if it's one person or two.
Well, remember, they were back there as of yesterday.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're back there with like an excavator, like a backhoe, and digging more. And I guess they brought in the cadaver dogs, and the cadaver dogs alerted about 20 feet away from where the original discovery was made, making you think maybe there's a second set of remains.
Yep.
But anyway.
Or what they were doing is they were trying to find the rest of the remains, or, like you said, there could be multiples.
Right. And I'm wondering if this is another Fort Myers 8 situation.
Well, me and you have discussed this numerous times, and I think even back when we first recorded that case about Steve Calkins and Terrence Williams and Felipe Santos, we discussed, like, if he did it to these two guys, this can't be the only two. These are just the only two that
he got caught.
Exactly.
Well, he didn't even really get caught.
Any record of. Right. There's like no record of it. So he was the sheriff's deputy that was the last person to see him alive. So he was the one that there were witnesses that witnessed Felipe Santos and Terrence Williams get into the patrol car with Stephen Calkins, and he left. And they were never seen again, which is very suspicious. And ultimately, he ended up getting fired, right?
Yes, he got fired for lying.
Yeah, he gave like a conflicting.
So here's a little clip from Wink News. This is the most updated I could find about what's happening. I'm going to play it.
Now, the detectives are back out in Collier County off Daniels Road, south of Vanderbilt Beach Road, at the scene where human remains were found. Wink's reporter Bianca Smith is at the scene now. Bianca, what's happening out there at this moment? Well, what we can confirm is that the detectives are back out here as part of their ongoing investigation. Now, I want you to take a look for yourself. As you can see, it's about to start pouring, but that is not stopping anybody here. There's a backhoe on there that has been digging a large hole all day, but we don't know what they're digging for. We can see people there digging as well. And right over here to the right is construction, building of brand new houses. And this is only to note as of now. This is the scene where construction workers in Collier County found human remains buried in the ground. Today, they're continuing their investigation. The Collier County Sheriff's Office reports finding pieces of intact teeth, possible ribs, and other bone fragments. Samples have been sent to a lab to find out whether the bones are female or male. Once that happens, the DNA will be entered into the National Missing and Identified Persons System. The discovery of the bones happened in May, but some neighbors I spoke with said this is the first time they're hearing about it, and they have questions.
Geez, I think my blood come right down there again tonight like they did last night. Yeah, I just don't know. It's like, I guess it's like finding out more about the Bible. It's been for a long, long time. And, but since I'm not saying most people know is, when the word is saying that somebody's done up about it, are there more down there than this?
Then we're still trying to find out who these bones belong to, how long they've been here, and how they got here. Once we learn more, we'll let you know. Reporting live from Collier County, Bianca Smith, Wait News. Our detectives are back out in...
Okay, there we go. So that is the latest on what's going on. But there's been so much speculation online that these remains could be Terrence Williams and Felipe Santos.
That was, that hit my brain first, your brain, so many people. But there's a few others too.
Right. There's a few others that we covered. I mean, there's Ricky Walker. There's Wendy Hudecock, Heidi Zampel. I actually wrote an article on my...
Please follow this, by the way, her Substack.
On my Substack. It's laurensamplesfla.substack.com.
Say that again, because I want people to follow you and start to pay attention to you, because I think some of the writing that you do on this is really great. And then, there's one quote that you made at the end that I was like, you'll see, I commented.
You did?
I did. I commented. I read it again. I've read it like 4 times now. And then I read the very last line that you say. I love that part. And you can see my comment on there.
Okay. So it's Lauren. I'll put it in the show notes. laurensamplesfla.substack.com.
Now scroll down.
Follow it. Okay. Let me find it. What did you... I didn't know you commented.
There's a quote that you put at the very bottom. And it really says a lot about Lauren and what she's become through this whole podcast thing of, hey, we could do a podcast. I'm like, no, we can't do a podcast. Yeah, we do a podcast. I'm like, you just want to spend a whole bunch of money trying to do something like, your other stuff. And here we are. Here we are. I mean, what are we, 8 years now? 5?
Yeah, 8 years.
I know we took a little break. We took a year off. But, speaking of which, having a year off, June 10th, this is the anniversary of the day that everything changed for me. So...
Oh.
6/10, yeah. So if you followed the show, and I talked about why we came back, and if you watched the comeback show that the 6 or 7 minutes, we can explain on my own into today. But anyway, so go ahead.
This is why you are amazing, always working and praying for closure and justice.
Read the quote.
I remain hopeful that at least one other family will receive the answers they seek, find closure, and ultimately achieve the justice they deserve.
So it doesn't matter who it is. What it means is there's a body that's been found. This is what we work on. Unsolved and missing person cases. This is what Paradise After Dark, which turned into, we tried to do the news. We've tried so many different aspects, vacation. So we just wanted to tell these stories. We wanted to tell the stories, whether they were solved or not, whether they were vicious, they were funny, some of them were, that we've done. And, we were doing all these mysterious things, and the dark side of the Sunshine State. That was what we did. And then it turned into, here we are, missing and unsolved.
Yeah.
And here's a situation where somebody is about to find out who this is. And somebody's going to need closure. And that's why I like what you said. And it could be, very much, it could be Wendy Hudecock. As a matter of fact, I hope it is.
Yeah.
I hope their family I hope it's Ricky Walker. I hope that family gets justice. I hope it's one of those people.
Well, there are several missing people in Collier County right now.
I get it. I'm just talking about the ones that I know.
Yeah, I know.
And the thing is this...
The ones that we've covered.
This is not a crime scene. This is a dump site. Where they're found is, it's a designated journey. This unless they took them out there and the crime was committed there. But it would seem to me that this was a dump site. This was not... That's a shallow grave. It's a dump site. I think they were like 18 inches deep. So someone went out there and buried this body. And I think that's important because obviously once they figure out who it is, then they can trace back to, okay, what may have happened. Now, if it's Steve Calkins, it's quite possible that he took him there, killed him there, and then buried him there.
Well, and I actually looked it up, and the site where the remains were found is a 12-minute drive from the last place that Felipe Santos was found, and a 17-minute drive from the last place that Terrence Williams was seen.
Yeah, seen, not found. But yeah.
Seen,
yeah.
found. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
So...
We're uncut, so we can't fix that.
Sorry, guys. So yeah, that's kind of...
It makes sense. And the thing that makes the most sense is, okay, they found some body parts, and they when the police came out, they spent the entire day, like 2 days, going through this whole site, digging and trying to find them. Well, then finally, like, okay, we're going to come back out with cadaver dogs. Now they're bringing in heavy equipment, and they brought in FGCU, which, if you remember, the Hog Show murders. I can't think of the lady's name. Fort Myers
Walsh-Chaney.
Exactly. Well, remember, she was part of 9/11, and we talked about her a couple different times in the cases that we've covered.
And so she helped identify some of the value jet.
And it makes me very happy that she's been brought in, because I feel like with her involved, she's determined to find out who this is.
Yeah, she's the GOAT, man.
Yeah, so I feel like, okay, they're bringing her in. They've done the right thing. And the fact that they're coming back leads me to believe that they're looking for more. Whatever they found with the first set, they started to do some realization, and they're like, okay, wait. We found, maybe they found a double set of bones. Maybe the bones don't match. Maybe they got bones from a female and bones from a male. Maybe they have bones of two different nationalities or two different people, one short, one small, and, which would be like Terrence Williams, Felipe Santos. So like, okay, let's go back out there and see what else we can find. And that makes me happy with Collier County Sheriff's Office, that they're not just saying, okay, we found some bones, we'll figure it out. They're going out and they're going to try to solve something. And I like that. And they're getting the right people involved, and they're pushing for it. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. And even if it's not Felipe and Terrence or Terrence, some family is going to get some closure.
That's what I love. That's the best thing.
That's what matters.
Absolutely. I have a question for you, though.
What's that?
Because I think the majority of people are thinking that it is going to be Terrence Williams and Felipe Santos, at least locally within the community here. What happens if they found a body? Do you think that the reason that they had what's it called when they can't find the body and you can't present it in court?
Habeas
corpus. That's it. Thank you. I couldn't. My brain was weak. So if Stephen Calkins' case, remember when Tyler Perry came in, they were pushing, they were going to get this case solved and take him to court, and the judge threw the case out. Was it because there was no body?
No, that was a civil case. That was a civil case. That was a wrongful death case. That was civil court. That was not a criminal court. Stephen Calkins has never been criminally charged with anything to do with
If these bodies are identified, he's going to be scared shitless.
I bet he should be. I'm sure.
He's probably scared right now.
I know. I thought of that.
So, but if you do think that if they find the bodies, and do you think
I think it depends on what they find with it. I mean,
that's true. Well, never mind. I can't speak on that.
Well,
something totally different. I'm just going to let that fly. I was going to say something else, but I can't speak on that of any intelligence. I'm not going to. Of course, I can't really speak of anything on intelligence. If you've met me, you know why. But I just wondered if, like Stephen Calkins, like if they find the body and he was the last one, and they determine that that's who it is, I feel like he's going to be coming back to serve some justice.
I hope so.
And if it is, okay, maybe they went back saying, okay, how many other bodies here? Maybe they did find two different bodies. Maybe they found the remains of two different people and like, all right, let's go back out there and see if there's anybody else, because and maybe they think the same thing that we thought. Like, there's got to be more.
Yeah.
He was a cop who was a serial killer. And, when you think about it, you think about Joseph DeAngelo. Oh, he was a cop. Look at the shit that he did. And, every now and then I was watching Forensic Files. I woke up in the middle of the night and I watched it I want to say my favorite episode, but it's just one that every time I turn on, I have to watch it. It was the cop who was setting the fires.
Oh, yeah.
And he would sit there and he would call the fires in and he would watch it. And it's like, I can't remember the guy. And it's like, yeah. These guys, these are people that you trust, and they still just like screw you over and do the horrible things. But
that's rough. That's really rough.
It is. So, I want there to be justice. Like Warren said, if it's not them, then somebody's family is going to get some closure when this all settles out. And, I hope when there's closure, since they were buried, it's most likely going to be a homicide.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope there's going to be some justice too. So I hope that not only do they find a body, that they have some clues that lead to criminal charges so somebody can be brought to justice, so a family can get closure and some justice.
Right. I agree. So, do you have anything more to say about that?
No, this is a big thing in the community, our town here. And obviously there's a lot of people that are involved in it, and we're involved in it because obviously we've covered so many cases from Collier County and we've lived here. So it's almost like a suspenseful thing. You really want to find out, oh my God, who is it going to be? and of course we're just rooting and praying for all the good stuff to happen, so anyway, it's and the fact that the DNA has been sent out, that makes me, they found teeth, which usually if you can find teeth
are
intact,
really the source for DNA.
Teeth, they say that teeth that were intact.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. So hopefully they can find the DNA and find out who this is and bring some justice and closure. And that's just an exciting thing. So sorry if I keep saying that over and over, but it's very exciting to know that something's about to happen.
Is it exciting, Ken?
Yes. It's exciting, and there's going to be closure.
Do you think there's going to be closure?
There could be, and maybe some justice too.
And it's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And there could be some justice too.
So you know what else is exciting?
But
my book cover is finished.
It is.
It is.
Do you have it on Paradise After Dark? Did you put it on Palm Up Media, Paradise After Dark? Your little clip. You should put it out there.
I think I shared it.
Okay, I think I shared it too. So if you follow me at all, which I don't think if you don't.
But I will put it out there. And the book is going to be going on pre-sale soon. And then it will be out for the world in July.
Sorry, it's a crowd going wild.
So yes.
So excited for
Oh
me.
my gosh, it doesn't even seem real. It took me 3 years to write this book.
I'm so excited.
And I'm just, finally seeing the book cover and what's going to be written on the back of the book, and I had to do an author bio and all that stuff, and it's like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah.
All that work paid off.
From a girl who reads so many.
Well,
it's going to be one of yours. So not only have you read thousands and thousands of books, there's one you've written. It's great. It's a fantastic thing. So
I know. I'm very excited. Very excited. So as soon as the pre-sale, I'm going to be posting that everywhere, and everybody, please go buy it. Just buy it.
Yes.
Do it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it.
Buy it from the website.
Well, that's the only place they're going to be able to get it.
That's the pre-sale. Okay, good, perfect.
So, yeah, stay tuned for that.
That's pretty much it, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, that's
it.
That's all.
And stay tuned, because we have the case of the month coming out here shortly.
Yes, featuring Danielle Bell,
14-year-old girl who
14-year-old girl went missing in September of 2001.
And the best part about this is Lauren did a great interview with her sister, who's her advocate, which is great. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's going to be our next episode. And
thank you everyone for listening
to Paradise After Dark.
Dark.